everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Two for 2022. It is the first episode back. I'm happy, I'm excited, I feel refreshed. It's been a very enlightening week and a half since we were off the air. It's been about a few weeks since we last... like I said in the last episode review, literally the next 3 weeks were going to feel like so long, and they felt so short because like here we are back again on a new rookie episode, and I am for once very happy to be back in this world. A great way to start the year with a new rookie episode. Technically, it's not the first show I watched since the new year began. I watched Cobra Kai season 4, which was amazing. Yesterday, I watched the Return to Hogwarts special that was on HBO Max. You should all go check those out. And so this was my proper third TV thing of the new year, and so far it's been a roll. It's been a blast. Delving into new storylines, getting a little bit of a feel for the second half of the season, and you know we're getting somewhere. We're definitely getting somewhere with our characters. Because for me, again, I felt like the first half felt like it's kind of like the traditional mindset I'm still stuck in something where I assume the every element you see from the beginning of the season will last until the end of the season, and they didn't in this case. They just wrapped everything up before we went on break. It took me a bit of a while, and I think it's because most of the time when I'm watching a show, like they have these, for me, it feels so extended, because I don't think right now, on the top of my head, I've reviewed a show week to week that has, we're recording? Yeah, we are recording. I don't think I've done like a 20 plus week episode review yet. I know Rookie technically hits 20 episodes normally when we first started, but beyond that, we haven't gone above 20. So for me, it always felt like, and also the Rookie never did that sort of thing. It just, we had a character arc and like we kept the characters evolving and growing, but we never had like a really big storyline that was encompassing through. And I thought season 4 was going to be a little bit different, which they still are. They're just doing their own spin on it, which I'm enjoying so far. As we get into this episode, we're seeing new elements, we're seeing new directions for the characters, and we're kind of like, again, we're really setting up the second half, which, again, I don't know how long it's going to go for. I don't know if it got picked up for the full 20 or if we're doing another reduced season. I know we have episodes until at least the end of February, so I know that for a fact, so we're still good on that. But yeah, let's go for the, I forgot. It's been a while, so I'm a little rusty. But for this episode, I really enjoyed it. I really did. It was a nice welcome back into the world, even though, again, it's only been 3 weeks. But in terms of, like, 2022, it's new. It's a new thing for me. And you know, coming back to the world, it's just been a dang old blast, and I've been loving it. And here we go. So let's go through the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of The Rookie. So we begin right where we leave off from the mid-season finale. Nolan is shocked. Apparently his girlfriend, which I forgot the name. Also, I forgot, I apparently learned this over the break, is that I was like, this actress seems so familiar in the very back of my head, but I never mentioned it any before on the episode reviews. She played Lois Lane's sister on Supergirl back in season 1, way in 2015. That was a long-ass freaking time ago. And she's coming back to Superman and Lois for season 2 this season, which I'm like, that's crazy, but also, it's crazy how far we've come, because with COVID and everything, it's been, you can only pick one project, you can't do any multiple projects, you got to constantly quarantine and stay located, which I think they still do that, but I think they're making exceptions, or they're just working around more actor schedules just to make it more accommodating. Like, for example, I know KJ Appa, who is Archie on Riverdale, he has a baby now. He's a dad now. But then in the first episode of Riverdale's current season, he leaves for about 3 episodes, which is about 6 weeks in filming time, and then he comes back. So I'm assuming that he was just on maternity leave back then, just to be with his baby. But you know, I'm assuming at this point, like, they just worked out to the point like you could do more stuff than before, because we're just so careful in the testing now that's what my assumption is. But it's cool that we're not reviewing Superman and Lois on a week-to-week basis, but I'm just saying it'll be cool for me to see her as an actress be on 2 different shows. That's always been a cool thing, similar to how Brandon J. McClares was on, obviously this season, The Rookie, earlier on the first half, to also Turner Hooch, which sadly got canceled, which is very unfortunate. I think it's only the second time we've reviewed something that has been canceled. I believe so, yeah. Well, but we don't talk about that. Anyway, resuming on, Nolan is shocked. Everything's crumbling down on him because he had a ring, he had a proposal plan in mind. They both admitted "I love you" to each other, and then this guy with a very unkempt head of hair just comes in and says, "Yeah, I'm her husband," and this creates some sort of awkwardness between them because Nolan didn't know this about her, and also she was like, "You're supposed to be in jail for 2 more years." And he's like, "I got on good parole. What do you want me to do? I'm good like that." He shakes Nolan's hand. He wishes him luck, and then he leaves just to leave them alone. And of course, Nolan, both are blindsided. She's blindsided that her husband is now back, and Nolan is like, I like the way they approached this. I really did. If we're jumping ahead a little, I like it because it's not your typical like. It's something bad that happens to Nolan. It wasn't really. It was more along the line as we are still figuring out this story. It isn't her fault. This wasn't like she was playing Nolan and she had like a secret husband. I was trying to turn off the volume because I keep hearing static coming out. Much better. That was my assumption because like Nolan's had very bad luck with outside interference because I said this before in the last episode review. The first woman he dated on the show, well, that's not Chen. She wanted a kid, and Nolan didn't want to do that because, he wasn't ready to have a new kid in his new life. And his second one had her ex-husband her estranged husband to think about. And then with this one, I was scared. I was really scared because, promoting her to series regular, that does mean that there was going to be more like, this could be a serious thing for Nolan to pursue. But then at the same time, I was like, they are not going to do this. And they're not going to make her like this like shady person, which they don't. She leaves because she needs to unravel some things. Same with Nolan. I believe we cut to the next day where Bradford has slept with his new girlfriend, the daughter of that retired officer from like a few weeks ago. So they're dating, they hooked up, and now it's at the point where it's like she's sleeping over. And also I forgot, I literally made this joke a couple weeks ago, like, didn't Bradford have a dog and we just never seen the dog again? He's back. I was like, perfect. They listen to me. They care. I'm like, I'm being heard. My words are being heard. Where was I going to go with that? Yeah, but however, she's a little bit timid by the dog since the dog keeps barking at her. And again, it's just how it is with most dogs. I remember I had an ex who, I think one of her dogs just didn't like me that much. And even though we weren't together long, I think he eventually warmed up to me towards the end, which was ironic that I finally got good with the dog and then we broke up. So that was like, cool. That was just hilarious on my idea. But Bradford actually does pay attention to this and knows like this could be a little bit of a problem. This could be. And I was like, are they really going to break up over a dog? Actually, I can't really say that considering the fact that's kind of deja vu for me, so I won't even go that far. I know we come back to the station and, we're still waiting the results on Wesley, about the bar association, what they're going to do with him now that, everything with Elijah's kind of wrapped up and over and already released because of how they had to arrest him. So yeah, they suspended him for about 6 months. And regardless, even after the suspension is over, he's still going to be labeled as like, this is a lawyer, a criminal attorney who has accepted embezzlement and accepted bribes from a client before. So that's going to really put a bad stain mark on his entire career. And he's kind of uncertain what to do since, Elijah did threaten him and he had no choice given the circumstances because, his wife was in danger. But at the end of the day, the bar associate doesn't give a shit about that. Like, what they care about is your integrity as the lawyer. Like, at the end of the day, like, you have the title, you hold this position of authority, you need to care for that title. They don't care about any of the circumstances, which I know it does sound like a shitty thing to say, but that's just how it is, in reality. So he's kind of figuring out, what does he do now? Nolan talks to Harper about it. Apparently, I have no idea where New Rook is. I think he's off doing, rookie training that we went through during the first 3 seasons, and we're just like, yeah, we're not gonna repeat it because it's kind of how like Grey's Anatomy in their more recent seasons, like, with the newer, what do they call them? Residents. Yeah, the residents. Kind of how like, they have to go for skill labs and stuff like that. Like we've been through that in the earlier seasons of Grey's Anatomy, and yeah, it could be like a lazy tool, like oh, we're gonna do it that plot line all over again, just with new people and with the veterans as like the teachers now, and thankfully they don't. Well, not that much. I haven't really paid attention much to Grey's Anatomy this season. No offense. So continuing picking that up. So Nolan's just expressing, his disgruntledness towards the whole situation that, that he would have at least been warned ahead of, hey, I'm technically still married. I mean, I'm not with, I don't love the guy anymore, but like I'm still technically married to him by the court of law. So I apologize for that. The fact that she didn't mention it to him is kind of what's still irking him about it a little bit more. And, Harper decides to give him a little bit of a heads up. Like, I got this guy, he knows some things about in the system, can get you like an inside line about the guy. So they exchange numbers and Nolan asks for the information. I know Chen and Bradford go on their ride along, and Bradford's being a little bit more open towards about, like about her, and then, about the dog. And, Chen's a little bit, Chen's really acting suspicious, because I don't know if it's like she's just trying to be a protective sister, or she has a crush on Bradford. I really don't know. Like, it's so hard for me at this point to kind of differentiate the two, that it's starting to annoy me a little bit. And she's acting like, oh, you should break up with her. Like, if she doesn't like Kojo, the name of the dog, you shouldn't be with her, because, Kojo's part of your life, and if she can't accept it, she's got to go. And so that's just like, cool. That's the stance right there. Also, again, I know that Nolan's girlfriend, and I know she has a name. I can't remember everything. I apologize. We've been like, again, I really hope we don't get a firefighter spinoff, because we already have a firefighter show on ABC with Station 19. So, but it's like we've been getting so much about her role, and again, I know she's like a series regular now, so she needs to have some aspect. But Wesley's a series regular. We don't touch much upon his lawyer world, so it's like unnecessary. Like, I don't know. It's just like my brain just like, in this misconception of like, is this really setting up for like a rookie spinoff? Which, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't really have a problem with it. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, the rookie has a charm to it. I don't think, but like, well, okay, but let me shut up there and just pick it up from there. So she's more focused on like, telling her one of her best friends who works there, like about her husband, that like he's a verbal abuser. Like, he doesn't hit her, but he's more of like the type of person that like gaslights her, makes her feel like, there are problems when there aren't problems, kind of distances herself away from her friends and family to kind of like make it like, it's all about me, no one else matters, that sort of thing. And all he is like, a problem. And of course, she said, and so like, this time I'm going to get the divorce. I don't care what he does. I don't care if he disappears. Like, I need to get away from him, because I can't lose Nolan, because she's finally at the point right now where like, Nolan is the first person she said, I love you genuinely in so many years, that she's not going to lose him over her husband coming back to town. It isn't going to happen. So she's definitely going to be doing that front. The only other thing I can figure before we get to like the big like connective tissue throughout the entire thing, and I'm forgetting if I'm forgetting anything else. Yeah, Chen and Bradford were talking about the whole dog and Bradford's girlfriend thing, and then they catch a drug transaction happening. They chase down the dealer. They immediately arrest him with no problems, and it's just a kid, like a 16, 17-year-old kid, nothing too crazy there. But while they were arresting him, they look up above, and they see like a private plane crashing into one of the streets. Nolan and Harper are the first to respond. It's a total TV wreck. Like, it's bad, but it's not like overly expensively bad, if I have to make a little bit of a joke there. A couple cars have flipped over, but they're empty. One woman's trapped behind the front of her car. The pilot, the plane is a complete wreck, and Nolan's trying his best to trying to like calm down the lady. Bailey, of course, gets called in because, fire department has to come in to contain this fire. And again, very civilized. Nolan and her doing their jobs, trying to save the day, that sort of thing. Chen and Bradford show up. So once that's cleared out, everyone's safe and sound. They try to go look for the pilot. There is no pilot there. So they start canvassing, trying to figure out any clues. Nolan finds there's like a big bag of stacked gold, like the literal big stack of gold. I'm like, dude, I don't even think those like were even outside anymore. But there's a bag full of gold bars, and I'm like, Jesus. And I'm always confused. Like, I don't know. Cartoons always like, oh, when you chop open a bar of gold, it's just like like a bunch of gold coins come out of it. I know that's not how it works in real life. But I'm just saying, like, that'd be cool if that's how it was made. But anyway, they get a match of fingerprints on someone, but the problem is that the person that matches the fingerprints is still in jail right now, and they call him up. I mean, he's still in prison, so they're like, why is this happening? So Nolan and Harper go off to the prison to go check him out. Bradford and Chen are gonna go figure out this gold bar situation, trying to figure out what else we can know about this guy going into it. Did we get to the other plot point yet? I do not believe so. Yeah, not yet. I know we get a scene. Nolan and Bailey do exchange words. They're like, yeah, Nolan is still processing everything. He's still like not 100% through it yet. That this has happened, and he still needs a little bit of space from her to kind of like figure things out a little bit before he's able to like truly proceed with what they should do next over this whole situation. I know we come back to Bailey back at the fire station, still talking shit about her husband, and the husband shows up. He's acting all very like nonchalant, like, hey, look, I want to get the divorce. Like, I want you to be happy. Like, I'm just in and out. I'm trying to get my shit together, but I know you want a life. So here are the divorce papers. It seems like he's actually trying, but I'm like, nah, there's something fishy here. There really something is fishy here. Where do we go next? I want to say, yeah, so Nolan and Harper hit up the prison. They check in with one of the guys. Not with the guy. The guy they found the fingerprints on, and it seemed very too clean. And it turns out it's not even him. It's an actor. It's someone else who like was hired to like pretend he's the guy. Which I'm like, damn. That's actually at first. Like I don't think I've ever seen like they hired an outside person to come in and literally pose as the guy. I'm like, I've never heard of that, but okay, that's the thing apparently. They need some more information, so they decide to go to good old Oscar. Remember him? I was like, oh, not you again. I'm like, come on. Here's the thing. In terms of all the recurring characters of the Rookie universe, I love him, but I'm like, I hate him every time he's on. It's like, he's always like thinking of himself, trying to like, get out of things, and it's like, this man just does not know when to go. And he got his ass whooped recently, so I'm like, good for you, good for him. They try to get something out of him, which they managed to trick him to get him to confess whatever he does know about the case they're investigating. Nolan sadly does get called in about the whole, what did his girlfriend's husband did to like get him arrested and sent to prison. He hasn't done so many crazy stuff, which I'm like, really? That's all he did? Like, I thought I was expecting something more than that, but that is what it is. So no one gets his information, but sadly Oscar overhears things. Is like, hey, I can know a little more things about him, and they're like, nope, closes the door, like, shut up, Oscar. We'll see you next season, hopefully. So once they get that information, they start figuring out what's going on, and they figured out that this I forgot his name, but like the criminal, he does have a vacation home somewhere in California. So they visited. It seemed like things were fine, but the housemaid turns out to have given them clues like, yeah, he's here, he's in the back, he's the gardener's having him, bury some. Also, again, like, I'm being completely honest here. Like, this is a vacation house, so like, what was I gonna say? Like, it wouldn't make sense for the help to be there. So, if the help was being put full time on the server, like, what do they do? Like, the vacation home literally cannot. Like, I would be surprised. Like, just come in once a week, dust off the place, make sure everything's nice and tidy, make sure everything's fine, locked in, and like, yeah, there you go, leave. The gardener, it makes sense similarly because I'm pretty sure you could just do it a couple times a week or just show up for an hour and just be done for the day. So the gardener makes sense, but why do we need a maid on staff for a vacation home? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I could easily imagine this maid and the gardener were like hooking up, and like, I don't even know how far I'm going. I got a very perceived mind. Moving on. They go in. The gardener's digging another bag of gold for him to like try and escape with. Chen and Bradford immediately go into a gunfight with him, but he manages to get away on a motorcycle. So they're off to the races again on that. What else? Where else do we go? I know at some point we hit the night shift and, everyone is ready to go home. Oh, I forgot. Bradford, not Bradford. Wesley's about to leave to kind of go to a bar, start drinking, trying to like forget about it. We see the neighborhood guy who's now Harper's boyfriend show up. He's just there for moral support for the drug dealer that Chen and Bradford arrested earlier. He's trying to explain the situation to Chen that like, he's just a kid, like he's had a lot of problems and he needs the community's center support right now, because if he goes in the system right now, we're gonna lose him, because by the time he comes out, it's gonna be even more difficult to go help him out. So they really need him not to go into juvie or jail or anything. So Chen manages to like kind of write a couple things to try to get him out of it, as long as he acts good and all. And so they release him on that, and then he goes off to go drinking with Wesley, and they're having a lot of fun. Like, it's a nice change of pace when like, the boyfriends or like just the partners of like our main police officers are like together, like, and we're friends. Like literally we would have nothing to talk about, but when we're drunk, we could just be happy and laughing about everything. And he does out for him, like, hey, why don't you just, volunteer at the community center for the next 6 months? Like, we always have people coming in for legal advice and we don't know shit about it. So it's unpaid, and, you get to still spend time with your son. You get to do a couple hours there. It's golden. It'll keep you occupied. Lopez calls over Harper to kind of go grab some pizzas and stuff like that. And like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I have been craving some pizza. Like, I'm being honest there. I've been craving some damn pizza for like a while now. Like, right now I'm really not able to, because I'm back on my diet, because obviously the holiday feasting and eating, I probably gained a couple pounds, so I need to go back to regimate myself a little bit. So it'll be a while, but I'm like, I am really, 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 really craving a pizza. Like, I don't know what, like, okay, I'm gonna go on an entire pizza tread. I'm not going there. Going back to the rookie. Nolan gets a call from Bailey. Is it Bailey? I want to say it's Bailey, but like his girlfriend. And they're just talking about things, and Nolan's like, look, I still need time to process this thing, and this is just on top of her, like her car getting short circuited and her having to wait for a tow truck to come in and like take her in. And she's feeling sad, because like, again, like Bailey was finally at a good place with Nolan. There was a ring, there was I love yous exchange, and then he comes back and it's like, the picture is kind of at risk, and she just she wants things to go back, and it's kind of difficult. I know Chen does get a call from Bradford's girlfriend about the dog, and Chen just is trying to be like, yo, Kojo, best dog in the world. He just could not fit my apartment. It was just way too small for him. So she was trying to carry on that front. She does tell Bradford about what she said to her, and that Bradford should use this as like an opportunity. Like, if you do care about her, you need to find a way to like make them both work and coexist. So they have to figure out on that front. Nolan's girlfriend heads back to her apartment, and the mood is very off and creepy, especially that, she is looking around. She's got the sense that someone is here, but no one's here, but she's got a sense someone was here, especially some oranges were peeled on the table and eaten, and then also the wedding photo from her and her husband is just lying out there, meaning that, yeah, he was here to kind of prove a message that I can get to your apartment, so be careful. She heads over to the local park where he's working now as a gardener, and she just tells, look, stay away from me. You fucked up with my mind back then. The moment you went away to jail, I started fresh. I moved to Cali. I started a whole new life. You are now ruining this for me. You need to go and get out of here and stay out of my life. And, he's acting like, look, I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, I think you're a little crazy, man. I think you're a little crazy, but, but of course, obviously in his mind, like, no, I need to be right. I need you to lose. So we'll get to that momentarily. The officers are trying to figure out this, the gold guy, I'm going to call him, trying to figure out where else could he go. But then they realize the person he hired, he has a family too. So like they try to connect the dots there, and I know they do eventually corner him, and they do find him. They do eventually arrest him. I'm sorry if that sounds very anticlimactic, but it's just, that's literally, that was like literally the weakest point, like the stuff I didn't pay attention on, because like everything else going on was even more important than that. Wesley's at the community center trying to give legal advice to the kid that the neighborhood dude was trying to watch over. The leader of this section of the cartel, or like the not the cartel, the drug operation, shows up to kind of demand his money because he did drop some product into to some water, so that kind of renders it useless, but he still wants his money. And they're trying. Wesley and the neighborhood guy are trying to like hold him back, trying to say like, look, he's gonna get a job, he's gonna legally get you your money, so you gotta give him some time. But he's like, nah, man, I want my money today. Well, not today. He wants it tomorrow. And the kid gets scared because like this guy literally is. He says, "Bye." Like when he's in here, this is your world. The community center, it's off limits to me. But when you're outside, it's all my domain. I'm God. You listen to me. So they leave, but of course, obviously, they still have the plan, like, for him to, like, declare a certain proclamation so he doesn't have to go to the system, so he has still a fighting chance and to redeem himself, and that's still the plan there. But however, later on in the day, sadly, he gets arrested again because he was trying to break in somewhere, and a woman had a heart attack, and, if the woman dies, he gets to go away for murder. And this officer blames Chen for like letting him go off easy, because if he was just still sitting there in his prison cell, his jail cell, this wouldn't have happened. And Chen kind of like doubled things back a little bit. So they're just watching him get escorted, and he's just giving the excuse like he was gonna kill me, like I needed his money, but like everyone's like, dude, you had a plan. Like I legit hate these people, I really do. Like. They only care about the money. Like, they need to be rich. Like, everything needs to be accounted for. They don't care what happens. They don't care the circumstances. They just want their money. Which does fucking suck. I don't know where we go. Yeah, so he goes off to juvie or prison, and, he's kind of, like, really done for now. I really feel sorry for him, because he's just a kid. Like, he looks brolic and such, but, like, he's just a kid. Like, mentally, he's just not there. And they all feel bad because like there's literally nothing they can do for him anymore, because if the woman dies, he's going to jail forever. So that really is a bummer for him. Nolan's girlfriend's heading home again after another long day, and she gets stopped over by some police officers because they got a tip that she has something in her van, and they open up the van, and it's a pack of cocaine. And so the husband planted it in her. Nolan goes off to see her, still tells her, hey, I still love you despite everything that happened, because what's happening to you is really shitty, so this ain't gonna happen. So Nolan pops over for a visit to the guy and just lets him know, like, I know what you did. Like, you can drop the bullshit act. Like, I know what you did. Like, you're not gonna trick anything around me. So you made an enemy out of me, so I'm gonna come after you. I'm gonna get her out of prison. I want to make you go to prison again. So this ends up an interesting conflict for next week, because that was the end of this week's episode of The Rookie. So for me, I'm very happy they did something new with the Nolan's love interest, who is slowly becoming her own real character with her own story. This new guy, again, he's not like an overarching villain, but he is definitely another obstacle to Nolan's happiness, in a way. It was nice they brought Kojo back. I was really happy. I love that dog. I personally don't like that species. Like I love all dogs, but like I wouldn't own one personally. That's just not my taste. But I love him so much. He's very adorable. I'm still very happy that they're still including the neighborhood from season 3 in the storyline. They're still keeping it going. Bradford kind of getting his own like new direction is kind of nice as well. Wesley's new life is going to be pretty interesting if they decide to really continue that thread a little bit more. And I believe that's it. I'm just very happy that Rookie's back, and I had to burp again. A constant stream of episodes. I'm really loving it, and I can't wait to see what next week's episode has to bring for us for this conclusion. Like, does it end in a proposal? Does no one beat the day? Because it seemed like he's getting into a fist fight, so I'm like, it's gonna be interesting. It really is gonna be interesting. But yeah, that ends for me. I really liked it. I really did. I can't wait to see what next week goes, and for them to continue the story. So I'm gonna give this episode 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed the plane thing. Was like, very much like just like we just need some action. We need some action going, that sort of thing. I still think the gardener and the May were hooking up, but that's just my personal theory on it. So again, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this week's episode of The Rookie? Do you love it? Do you hate it? No. Down for conversation down below as always. And I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's in the Tube from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 4th season of The Rookie. If you want to know what we're doing normally, What's in the Tube, we're not really doing anything right now since Walker and Nancy Drew are still on break till next week. But this week, coming up, we have episode 300 of What's in the Tube. That's right, 300. Thank you so much for your support for getting us here. That episode 300 is My Hero Academia, a series review so far. Me and George are going back together, doing another round of like big anniversary milestone episodes, so stay tuned for there. It's going to be loads of fun, so stay tuned. But if you don't care about The Rookie, we'll be back next week for another episode review, and then afterwards, we're going on another weird break cycle, so it's going to be a little bit confusing, but stay tuned on that, so stay tuned on that front. But again, this has been What's in the Tube from ActionX. Please subscribe to us on youtube.com/ActionX videos. Ring that bell for notification where our next episode review is live, which is normally each and every Monday mornings. Please also like, favorite, share this review if you want to. It helps us out a lot. It really does. And please also follow us on social media to stay up to date with any sort of updates we may have for the channel. But until then, hope we have a great 2022. Hope the rest of Season 4 is great for you. And for all you members of the Rookie Nation, I'll see y'all next week for the next episode review. But until then, stay safe out there, be good to each other, and as always, peace out.